Tonight, looking for focus on the speed camera ban.
We haven't had clear information yet about what the province's plans are now.
Waterloo Region community leaders seeking clarity on the impending changes. Got him! One win away.
Never been more excited. We can win the World Series. First time since '93.
Lifelong dream to see this happen.
Game 6 excitement.
Excited to see him win a World Series at home.
Hitting multiple high notes.
It's spring and dang, we're in the bottom of the seventh inning. Yeah, the Blue Jays were down, but now the Blue Jays are winning.
The Toronto Blue Jays, hours away from a possible World Series title. Getting out of the cold.
Ideally, we make a connection that people can come back to.
The overnight warming centers that could be crucial.
Hopefully it's a bit of a haven, a place where people can really feel safe.
In a community crisis. Good evening. We begin with the ticking time clock on speed cameras in Ontario. The province's ban on them comes into effect in 2 weeks. But tonight, Waterloo Region's political leaders say the plan to move away from them is a little out of focus. CTV's Karis Mapp joins us now with more. Karis, what have we learned about how the cameras in operation locally will be dealt with?
Tony, this legislation may have passed quickly, but the details on how the local cameras will be decommissioned are still up in the air and likely will be until the bill becomes law next week.
The ayes being 69, the nays being 41, I declare the motion carried.
Bill 56, the Building a More Competitive Economy Act, passing an Ontario legislature Thursday afternoon. While it still needs royal assent, the act bans speed cameras across the province. But some municipal leaders don't agree with the decision.
I think I've been very clear that I think these are a very effective speed management tool, and I regret the decision that the province has made to say that we can't use them anymore.
Locally, the cameras are a Region of Waterloo program. According to the region's website, 27 cameras are in use, all within school zones.
However you want to look at this, however which side you're on with speed cameras, we still have a speeding problem in the region of Waterloo, especially a concern in our school areas.
A spokesperson with the region says they're still assessing the impact of the bill. Meanwhile, some local leaders plan to seek some answers early next week.
Certainly at the region, I'll be asking those questions at committee day on Tuesday, and we'll hope we get some clarity in the very near future.
With limited communication about plans, municipalities worry about future costs.
They'll be taken down, and we have a provider we're going to have to pay. The regional taxpayers are going to have to pay.
There's been some vague statements about a fund being set up. I've asked, how do we apply for that? What does that include? How much is in that fund? What will it cover?
Instead of cameras, measures like speed bumps are being encouraged.
You can't put those across multi-laned roads like a regional road. And a number of our schools front onto, University Avenue or Bridgeport or Herb Street or roads like that.
Elected officials say they're already hearing from constituents.
Sure, some of them didn't like the speed cameras, but I can tell you the overwhelming majority of people like speed cameras in school zones.
I think that's unfortunate that they're not talking to community members about what they want.
Again, the bill is expected to receive royal assent on Monday, and November 14th is the day the cameras are expected to be offline. Tony.
CTV's Karis Mapp reporting live. Appreciate that. Thank you, Karis. All right, time for a first check on the weather. Oh, tonight's the big night. Aside from the Jays game, Alex, which we're going to talk about a little later, it's Halloween. Looks like you are in full costume there. Mother Nature not raining on trick-or-treaters tonight, right?
I was going to say not raining. I kid you not, Tony, it might be spitting ever so slightly right now, of course. But looking up at the clouds right now, we've got some breaks. So hopefully this is it, because it's a little chilly out here. The wind, too, that's kind of the big talk about today. And yes, in terms of my getup, I've got to shout out Krista Simpson for loaning me her Wicked hat for tonight. But I am here with Mike and Haley here just along Bridgeport Road in Waterloo with this very impressive display known as the Pumpkin House. And bigger and better each year. What can people expect with this immersive display you have?
Lots of spooks and scares. A lot of pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a good time.
Yeah. What about in terms of the effort and the work that goes in behind the scenes? Because you start planning this quite a while in advance.
Like November 1st.
November 1st. So coming up for next year.
For next year, yeah. So, like, what do you mean, like going into planning?
Yeah, like the planning behind the scenes. I know you've got pumpkins, skeletons. Like, how do you come up with these ideas?
Oh, that's mostly him.
Yeah, I'm a little crazy, so we like to change it up every year. So we come up with a different theme every year, and we just plan and then kind of add on as we go with different ideas. So yeah, next year it's going to be movie monsters and aliens.
You already know. Okay, and you've got a corn maze. Can you tell us a little bit about how people can actually get through to get the candy?
So you enter in through the pumpkin patch archway, and then you just follow along the path, and at the end there's a surprise.
And finally, what's it like for you to see kids coming by? You mentioned that some from London, Windsor, Hamilton in the past have come to visit, sometimes upwards of 200 kids each year. What's it like for you guys to see that?
Oh, we love it. That's one of the reasons we do it. We do it for the community. We do it for ourselves, but we mostly do it for the community. We know that it brings a lot of people joy. You know, his dad started it with him when he was a kid, and he's continued it on, and hopefully our kids will continue it on. And
honestly, I think the adults love it more than the kids do.
Yeah, usually.
I was gonna say, when we rolled up, I was like, holy smokes, this is quite the display. And we did get a little sneak peek, and we'll take you through a little bit later, too. But happy Halloween to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, so if you're going to be in the Bridgeport area of Waterloo, 311 Bridgeport Road, you want to check it out here tonight. But, yes, we are noticing more cloud cover here over Waterloo this hour right now. And like I mentioned, it was spitting ever so slightly, but looks like we got a little bit of a break with the clouds up there right now. Currently 7 degrees it is here in Kitchener, Waterloo, 6 in Mount Forest, 5 only in Barrie. Many of us in that single-digit area, unless you're in the Sarnia, Ridgetown, Windsor area, sitting at around 11, 10 degrees, so slightly warmer there. But yes, we've got pretty decent conditions overall for Halloween night. Like I mentioned, it's a little bit windy out here, so if the kids have maybe some accessories to go with their costumes, we might want to pin those down just in case, and hopefully I don't lose Krista's hat, Tony.
You're wearing it well, though, Alex. You look great. The friendliest witch I've ever seen, I might add. Thank you. We'll check in with you a little later.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Alex was alluding to this. It's a big night for another reason. It's not only Halloween, it's Game 6 of the World Series, and the Toronto Blue Jays have a chance to take the title tonight for the first time in more than 30 years. Well, that means business is sure to be booming at bars and restaurants all around the region as that game streams, as people gather to watch it. All hands on deck with staff at those establishments to make sure it goes smoothly on this busy night. CTV's Heather Centerin joins us live now with more on the plans. Heather, not just Game 6, it's also Halloween. I mean, there's a lot of energy in the air tonight.
What are the chances, Tony? It is the perfect storm for one of the busiest nights for bars and restaurants, but in a good way. I spoke with several places in the region, and staff are all saying the same thing. Bring it on. When your team is one game away from winning the World Series, you can't help but celebrate, even when you're on the job.
Let's go Blue Jays! Oh, it's such a great party. It's the experience. Even our staff are super excited about it. The vibe's going to be amazing.
At Moose Winooski's in Kitchener, even the lunch crowd showed off their Toronto Blue Jays pride. And if you don't have a jersey, you can win a free one.
They could just fill out a ballot and hopefully, crossing your fingers, you'll win.
Might as well keep your fingers crossed for the rest of the night, as history could be made, something fans have been waiting 32 years for.
It's incredible to have Halloween and potentially the Blue Jays winning the World Series.
And in case the taco costume wasn't a clear sign, it's also the spookiest day of the year.
We're expecting it to be absolutely wild,
making it an even bigger, busier night for many bars.
But of course, Friday, Halloween, and the game, it'll be chaotic. In a good way.
At Kentucky Bourbon and Barbecue in Uptown Waterloo, staff expect all of these empty seats to be filled the entire night, no matter what you're there for.
We'll play sound on with a little bit of music mixed when the Dodgers are up or in breaks and stuff like that, just because we will have a crowd who are here for Halloween, and not everyone will be here just for the Jays. So we'll play to both crowds.
Most bars are first come, first serve, so staff suggests you get there early, with many hoping tonight the Jays seal the deal with sweet victory.
Even though Game 7 would be good for business, but selfishly, we would love to see them finish it tonight.
The first pitch is at 8 p.m., but if you're planning on watching it somewhere, don't wait until then to head out, if you can help it, that is, as trick-or-treating does wrap up around that time, so plan accordingly. Tony.
It is a busy Friday night. Heather Centerin, appreciate that. Thank you. And the Jays' historic World Series run is creating a new generation of fans, including an 11-year-old up-and-coming rapper from Brant County. CTV's Ashley Bacon meets Felix Muntz, also known as Flickety Split, who's making waves with his new track dedicated to Canada's team.
The Toronto Blue Jays have been inspiring.
We're the one, the only Canadian team. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime chance sometimes, so. And like, they've been on fire this season. It's been their best season for a long time. So that's kind of what inspired me.
11-year-old Felix Muntz, also known as Flickety Split, penning a new anthem dedicated to the Jays' historic postseason performance.
Let's go Blue Jays, time for baseball.
The St. George, Ontario native has only been rapping for about a year, hitting the studio to lay tracks like Want It All, Let's Go Blue Jays.
I can already see us winning. Back-to-back greatness, now let's do it again. Usually some of my songs have like a little bit of like some lines that have to do with sports, like baseball is my favorite sport. I love baseball.
He knows all the stats, and so for him to follow every play of the World Series as it's gone through and put those lyrics thoughtfully into his song has been like really incredible.
Felix says his lyrics reflect how the Jays have been playing.
In my song I put, like, unlike you, we have a good bullpen so pitchers can switch, because the Dodgers don't have a very good bullpen. And then I said, it's another winning year. This time it's not Joe Carter, because the last time they won, Joe Carter hit the walk-off home run.
The young rapper gaining confidence while having a positive artistic outlet, according to his mom, Becky.
I mean, ultimately our goal is just to nourish the talents that our kids have. And so to see him getting the feedback that he is looking for and the validation that he really has a talent is just, you know, everything we could hope for.
For Felix, he's just hoping the players get to hear it.
I think it's gonna pump them up. Like they played it at my school assembly and everybody was like cheering super loud, so I think it's getting them all ready for tonight.
As for what's next for Flickety Split, well, he's hoping to get back into the studio and lay down some tracks soon. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, St. George.
Sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter to stay in the know. We've got the top stories, the forecast, and some must-see videos right to your inbox. Sign up at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Well, diagnosing vision problems in toddlers just became much easier. After the break, CTV's Spencer Turcott tells us about the new Waterloo-developed eye test that's changing the way children get their eyes checked.
All right, a bit of a windy day here for Halloween night as we are live at the Pumpkin House along Bridgeport Road in Waterloo this evening. Definitely a popular spot to check out for Halloween night. I'm going to let you know when we potentially could see something a little scary in the forecast that's coming up a little bit later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Waterloo Region's 2 overnight warming centers are opening for the season tomorrow. Both spaces opened partway through the winter last year, and organizers say they were busy. CTV's Krista Simpson has more.
A place to sit, sleep, and eat. Kitchener's overnight warming center on Lawrence Avenue is ready to welcome people in from the outdoors.
People can come in, maybe grab a shower, brush their teeth, like grab a hot meal, sit down, like decompress.
The site is primarily for men, though there is the flexibility to accommodate all genders. Run by Thresholds Homes and Supports, the goal is to get whoever comes inside, even when at capacity.
We will never be in a position to turn someone away. I've committed to that.
In Cambridge, the overnight warming center is in the basement of Wesley United Church, next to City Hall. It can fit about 30 men.
Most nights we were at or over capacity.
The site is run by Porch-like Counseling and Addiction Services.
There was a really great community and kind of culture that was built here, and so we're hoping to see that kind of happen again this year.
Both overnight warming centers will open Saturday evening. They are scheduled to be open every night, including holidays, until the spring.
A point-in-time count done last year identified more than 2,300 people who are homeless in the region, far more than the number of shelter spaces.
Adding 30 here is, sometimes it feels like a bit of a drop in the bucket, but we're doing what we can do.
The Cambridge Warming Centre is always grateful for donations of food as well as new or gently used warm clothing and blankets. The Kitchener site is inviting restaurants or caterers to donate meals, and already some have signed up to help.
If anybody has some extra food or extra soups that they want to come in, support some really hungry, amazing people and be part of a very cool program, we would love to hear from you.
Hoping to not only give people a warm place to stay, but also a link to support.
Ideally, we make a connection that people can come back to. It's I trust that space, I trust those people. I'm ready to start talking about, hopefully a shift into housing.
Hopefully it's a bit of a haven, a place where people can really feel safe.
Krista Simpson, CTV News, Kitchener.
Diagnosing vision problems in younger patients like never before. A new eye test developed at the University of Waterloo can lead to earlier detection and treatment in children as young as 18 months. CTV's Spencer Turcotte reports.
Touch your nose.
Optometrists try their best to make vision tests fun for toddlers, but getting an accurate reading isn't so simple.
Well, as you may imagine, working with young children can be challenging, particularly 18 to 36-month-olds.
Even parents may not know their little one is having trouble seeing based on the child's behavior.
Measuring these types of vision problems is important because if they're not treated or detected, it can affect the child's learning. It can also affect the child's general development.
Researchers at the University of Waterloo may have a new tool, though, to fill the gap.
Here's a nice big one. We're using a test called the WATDAT, which is a test where the child has to point to the odd one out of 4 images.
WATDAT, or the Waterloo Differential Acuity Test, allows for more precision with younger children since they understand shapes and faces more easily.
Good pointing. We start large and we gradually get smaller, so that this is equivalent to the letter test that an adult would be asked to read when they're at the optometrist.
In the 18 to 36-month age group, about 14% of children have undiagnosed vision problems like astigmatism, farsightedness, and lazy eye. WATDAT hopes to cut down on those undetected cases.
This WATDAT is kind of unique, there's nothing like it.
Optometrists in Canada, the US, and UK are testing the technique, and reporting children seem to enjoy it more because the test feels like a game.
Good pointing.
The testing phase is nearing its end, and then they hope to commercialize it.
Once it's on the market, it will be available for optometrists, ophthalmologists to purchase.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Waterloo.
It's Halloween and a spooky scene in the background too, with some clouds in the sky. Just perfect, isn't it? The backdrop for this Halloween. A little cool. Alex was saying we were seeing a few scattered showers, not too much in the way of heavy rain though. Hopefully that holds off. We'll rejoin Alex for the forecast in a few minutes. Also coming up, poppies, not just for remembering, but for giving back. This year's message from a local Legion when it comes to helping hands and donations for the annual campaign. And from backup to the spotlight, we meet the Kitchener Rangers goaltender stepping up in his second OHL season in this week's Beyond the Bench. Let's check back in with Alex live at a haunted house on Bridgeport Road in Waterloo tonight. Alex, a very impressive display, and I guess this is a pretty popular spot for trick-or-treaters this evening.
I was just going to say, Tony, maybe in the last 10 minutes or so, we are starting to get so many trick-or-treaters, some great costumes. And I know that some have to be bundled up a little bit because it's a bit chilly out there, especially with maybe the wind here today. We got a mom and daughter duo joining us. So you already went through the haunted house, right?
Yeah, I got a little scared.
A little scared. Okay, what was your favorite part about checking out the haunted display? It's pretty cool.
I might like the candy.
We like the candy, of course. We're here for the candy. We've got to get through the corn maze to get through the candy. In terms of your costume, I know you've got some layers on. What are you? Let's see, what are you for Halloween this year?
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. Oh, pretty good. That is awesome. Okay, Mom, you went through the maze too. What did you think about it?
I like it. Yes, but for me, it's okay. But she tell me, no, Mommy, I'm scared and I can't go inside. Sorry. I tell her, if you need to go to take candy, you need to go inside. She tell me, no, Mommy, I'm scared and it's okay.
But I went in a haunted house in my school.
Oh, you did. So you got the candy, you did it, which is really exciting. And pumpkins, there's about 200 pumpkins here. What do you think about that?
There is?
There is. We learned that from the homeowners this year. Okay, so next stop. So you've already been here. What's the rest? What's the plan for the rest of the night? You're going to hit up some more houses?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to check for more candy and houses and more scarier things.
And finally, what's your favorite part about Halloween?
People will say candy, but me, I would say activities.
Activities. Okay, I love that. Well, you both have a great Halloween. Good luck trick-or-treating and try to stay warm with the layers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, yes, we are noticing a little bit of that cool down really happening. That breeze, too. Winds about 30 kilometers an hour, but some gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour we're noticing. But starting with our futurecast tonight, yes, we're noticing a little bit earlier, just very, very light drops, but no actual rain in terms of a washout. So good news for trick-or-treaters going out this hour right now. But it is chilly, it is cloudy, and yeah, we're starting to notice that wind pick up a little bit too. So like we said a bit before, maybe if the little ones have some accessories to go with their costumes, you want to make sure maybe it's pinned down just to be safe. But getting into the overnight hours, this is potentially when we could see some showers and possibly some flurries. So that's the slight scary part I was teasing a little bit before. So some mixing conditions possible. It shouldn't, though, stick around as we get into the rest of your weekend. But overnight tonight into your early morning hours for tomorrow, that is a possibility as the temperature starts to dip down. So across the province, a little bit chilly in Pickle Lake, 1 degree there, 3 if you're in Ottawa, 4 in Sudbury this hour, and a bit closer to home. Many of us sitting in that single digits this hour as well. Right now, just 6 degrees it is here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 8 degrees if you are in Hamilton tonight. So 1 degree, that is our expected overnight low. Again, mainly cloudy conditions. That 60% chance of showers or flurry activity is possible getting into the overnight and into your day tomorrow. In terms of daytime high for tomorrow, again, the cloud cover expected to stick with us. We should hit about 9 degrees or so. Okay, when we look at our almanac for today, in terms of seasonal daytime highs and lows, we are sitting pretty much where we should be for this time of year. That sunrise just a few minutes now before 8 a.m. Yes, we are at that time of year again, and that sun now setting 6:15 p.m. And a note as well as we get into the weekend, we mentioned it yesterday, but Sunday, 2 a.m., that's when our clocks fall back. So we're going to go back by 1 hour and gain a little bit of sleep. So some good news there. Over the next 7 days, Waterloo Region, once we get past that chance to see some mixing conditions possibly for your Saturday, Sunday, that's when we could see that sun make a return, sunny sky with a high of 10 degrees. So if you do have some outdoor plans, that might be the day to do it. For Lambton, Kent, and Essex, mix of sun and cloud for you. Looking ahead to tomorrow with a high of 11, dipping down to just 0 in terms of your overnight low before a bit more sunshine could be in store for your Sunday, high of 13. And then starting off the work and school week, some more cloud cover and some chance for a bit of wet weather. And southern Georgian Bay, potentially for you as well. Could see some mixing conditions in terms of showers or flurries, high of 7. Overnight low of just -1. So we're noticing we're getting back into that negative territory for some areas too as we inch closer to Yes, November. And for Sunday, just a 30% chance of showers or flurries is possible. So in terms of trick-or-treating conditions right now, at least, it is pretty much perfect. Again, a little bit windy out here for sure. Like I said before, I don't want to lose Krista's hat that she loaned me here, so I've got to make sure I have it for the rest of the hour. But layers might be your friend if you're planning to come down here along Bridgeport Road in Waterloo to do some trick-or-treating, Tony.
Layers and hold on to those hats. Okay, Alex, thank you very much. Live in Waterloo. Well, the last Friday in October is the official start of the Royal Canadian Legion's Poppy campaign. Today, veterans, Legion members, and local dignitaries met at Legion Branch 530 in Waterloo to launch it. And as CTV's Jeff Pickle tells us, they're looking for more people to help out.
It's the symbol of remembrance in Canada, and it's the main economic driver for the Royal Canadian Legion and its charitable donations.
The big thing is for the Poppy Fund is now that we have a lot of homeless veterans that we have to look after. We have other veterans that are out there right now.
Last year, the KW Poppy campaign raised enough money to give away $126,000, including $25,000 to Veterans Hospital, $56,000 to local hospitals, and $18,000 to various veteran funds.
Getting the donations that we need to look after our veterans and their families, and also the satisfaction of being able to make sure that we know some veterans that receive the funding that they need to live.
The KW campaign hoping for another big year, but they say while people are generous with their money, they need more people willing to give their time.
For instance, myself, I'm 80 years old and I can't do like I used to do. And it's that everybody's getting older, right? But we're not getting the younger generation to get involved with it.
Howie says the lack of participation means a less visible campaign.
They're willing to give like an envelopes and that, but to get their time out on the battlefield, like on the front line and at the stores and all that, nobody really stepping up.
This year's Poppy campaign comes at a time with local men and women getting called to serve.
More and more Canada's commitments abroad will rely on the access to reserve soldiers and their willingness to serve. Right now, serving members in the Combat Engineering Regiment from the Waterloo Squadron are serving in Latvia.
A symbol of remembrance, raising money for a brighter future. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Waterloo.
Still ahead, an overhaul of the agencies that protect the province's watersheds. The plan to collapse 36 conservation authorities into 7, and what it means for jobs. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney said Canada's relationship with China is at a turning point following his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Carney met Xi on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. Their talks concluded with an invitation for a state visit. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
The face-to-face hosted by China marked the first time in 8 years that a Canadian and Chinese leader met officially. Mark Carney expressed regret for lost time.
Distance is not the way to solve problems, not the way to serve our people with people-centric growth, as you have advocated. Pragmatic and constructive engagement is.
The meeting lasted 39 minutes. According to a readout from the Prime Minister's office, the leaders discussed trade issues, including agriculture, canola, seafood, and electric vehicles. There's no deal, but there's dialogue.
We now have a turning point in the relationship.
The freeze in relations began in 2018 after Canada arrested Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou at the request of the U.S. In response, China detained Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig. Then in 2022, Xi scolded former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in front of cameras. Analysts say recalibrating with China must be done carefully.
Mr. Carney will be able to have firm views on difficult issues related to human rights, religious freedom, and so on, while at the same time saying, let's discuss how we can work together.
We are going to have to play our own game with China based on our own interests.
and our own ambitions.
This was the second time Carney has met Xi. Previously, they met in 2016 when he was governor of the Bank of England. There will be a third meeting too. Xi Jinping has invited Carney to China for a state visit. Judy Trin, CTV News, Gyeongju, South Korea.
Well, trade talks between Canada and the U.S. are still off, according to the president. This after Trump and Carney spoke briefly in Asia, which Trump called a nice conversation. CTV's Jeremy Sharon has the latest on the talks and what they mean. Jeremy.
Back on U.S. soil after meeting with world leaders in Asia, U.S. President Donald Trump confirming talks with Canada aren't restarting.
What did you talk about with Prime Minister Carney? Are you and Canada going to resume negotiations?
No. Trump and Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke during a working dinner earlier this week with other world leaders in South Korea, the first encounter between the two leaders since this Ontario government anti-tariff ad prompted Trump to halt negotiations.
I have a very good relationship. I like him a lot. But you know what they did was wrong. He was very nice. He apologized for what they did with the commercial.
On Thursday, the Prime Minister's office confirmed Trump and Carney spoke during the dinner, but didn't make mention of an apology. The office of the minister in charge of Canada-U.S. relations declined to comment today.
Our job is to respect their choice and deal with whoever is in the White House. And so it's up and down with Canada, but we'll just have to bear through it as we make our way in getting a trade agreement, a new trade agreement with our American neighbor.
Washington has accused Canada of being difficult to deal with in negotiations. Trump's National Economic Council director telling CNN Canada hasn't been playing fair.
So President Trump won't stand for it. He's tried to negotiate with the Canadians to get better deals for Americans, and they've been, frankly, rude and dismissive, and this is how it gets to where we are.
Carney's government has said it stands ready to resume negotiations whenever Washington is ready, and Canada's ambassador to the U.S. says lines of communication remain open. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
At Queen's Park today, new proposals from the province to deal with Ontario's 36 conservation authorities. It's a plan the government says will allow for efficiencies, but opposition members are warning of potentially dangerous consequences. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
It's an overhaul of the agencies that manage and protect Ontario's watersheds, a system the minister in charge calls fragmented, inconsistent, and outdated.
Has not been working for homeowners or for builders or for farmers or even for municipalities who are dealing with as many as 4 in Hamilton, for example.
The proposal is to collapse Ontario's 36 conservation authorities into 7 regional bodies and set up a central agency to oversee them. McCarthy insisted over and over no jobs would be lost.
We will redeploy any management positions, for example, through consolidation to frontline workers.
Up to and including CEOs earning more than the Premier. The reason for the change.
The motivation to build critical infrastructure faster, to build housing faster, to get national projects in the ground faster.
That emphasis on building has drawn condemnation from the opposition.
It's completely illogical. I feel like failed science class.
This is setting aside all the environmental protection that those authorities are supposed to be doing so that someone can make a quick buck.
Critics warn it could mean homes that are more susceptible to flooding.
It will be very difficult or impossible to get insurance for new buildings that are constructed in a way that infringes on floodplains or floodplain risks. So there is a huge financial risk to this as well as a human safety risk.
Minister McCarthy believes there can be balance.
It's not a cliche. We need to build the Ontario of tomorrow while protecting the environment.
But the Green Party leader worries Ontario hasn't learned from expensive and disruptive summer flooding in the GTA and the historic hit from Hurricane Hazel in 1954.
81 people tragically died, 8,000 people made homeless. That's why we have strict conservation rules, and that's why local expertise is so critically important.
The legislation to establish that centralized agency will come in the next few weeks. But the collapse of the 36 conservation authorities into 7 regional bodies won't happen until early 2027. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Let's update our top stories with Colton Weens in studio with the latest as we look ahead to the impending ban of speed cameras in Ontario, Colton.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. The Ford government moving to ban the use of speed cameras by November 14th. But while the legislation may have passed quickly, the details on how the local cameras will be decommissioned are still up in the air and likely will be until the bill becomes law next week. Plus, the region of Waterloo's 2 overnight warming centers will open tomorrow evening. The sites, which opened last winter, will be open 7 days a week. The Kitchener site is on Lawrence Avenue. The Cambridge location is in the Wesley United Church. Each center has capacity for about 30 people.
And we all know the Jays are playing tonight, Game 6. We might have mentioned a thing or two about it already this hour, but hey, there's a lot of local sports going on this weekend.
A lot of local sports, especially for local universities that are competing in different championships, starting with the University of Guelph women's rugby team playing in the U Sports National semi-final in Vancouver tonight at 7. There's also local action in men's rugby, football, women's soccer, rowing, and lacrosse. You can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to see the full list on our CTV News app or download the app right now. You can also visit ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
You've always got your finger on the pulse of university and local sports. I love it.
I want to know.
Yep, we all want to know. Thanks, Colton. Appreciate that. And speaking of local sports, Kitchener Rangers goaltender Jason Schaubel is in his second OHL season after backing up Jackson Parsons last year. The netminder talks about taking on a bigger role and his long-term goals in the game on this week's edition of Beyond the Bench.
2-on-1 developing. Aitchison to Newton. Newton back to Aitchison to the net. Backhand stopped by Schaubel.
I'm Jason Schaubel. I'm a goaltender, and this is my second year playing for the Kitchener Rangers.
Play goes to the backhand, but Schaubel with a big pad save.
I want to establish myself as, a great goalie in this league. I don't want to settle for anything.
They get the puck back. Testa going to the net hard. Save made by Schaubel, and he smothers the rebound.
Everyone wants a career out of this. We're all in this league for a reason. We all want to make the NHL. Like, it's the end goal for everybody.
Still 35 seconds in the power play. One-timer by Schneid, and Schaubel able to make the save.
Getting drafted is the first step, and I think that's something, you look forward to your whole life, your whole career. So it's something I'm really pushing for.
We said 8 Bulldogs aren't here, but you can see the chemistry they have. Is streaking in there was Dennis, but once again, Schaubel able to smother the puck.
I've always been very driven, and I've always known, you always want the net. So I think for me, mindset hasn't changed. I think I've just, I've improved, obviously, since last season, and it just makes me want to go out and work harder at practice and work harder in my games.
A historic postseason that could get its storybook ending for one team tonight. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to check in for a live update from outside the Rogers Centre as the Jays look to claim the World Series title. Well, it's Halloween, but all eyes are going to be on the Toronto Blue Jays later tonight. Canada's team with a chance to win the World Series. The country buzzing ahead of this Game 6 between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. It's a chance for Toronto to take its first World Series title in more than 3 decades. Okay, on that note, let's check in now with CTV's John Venevalley Rao outside Rogers Centre. John, it could be over tonight, so what's the mood like down there given that headline?
Electric. Everybody's excited. It's a party. I mean, people are feeling pretty relaxed because they know the Jays don't have to win tonight. But boy, they sure would love to see them win tonight. But they know as a backup, if they don't win, they can try again tomorrow. But fans are really feeling like this Dodgers team is just going to go down in defeat. And it's pretty remarkable. You think at the start of the series, a lot of Jays fans were just happy the Jays were in the World Series. And now they are feeling very confident they can beat the defending champions. I just took a look at ticket scalper prices. Boy, to get a nosebleed ticket tonight, $1,700 to get in to see this Game 6, which is a huge amount. I just talked to a fan who was here in 1993. He was able to get last-minute tickets for $130 back in 1993. So you can see the change over time. But anyway, people are really just super excited, hoping for a big party here in Toronto. And let's see if this Blue Jays team can do it.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about the fact that they're going to be up against a pretty hot pitcher with the LA Dodgers tonight, too. But, of course, you know, they've got Vladdy. They've got a lot of batting power to counter that, one would think, John.
Yeah, Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a formidable pitcher for sure. Pitched a gem of a game in that game, too. The hope is that the Blue Jays have seen him pitch once in this World Series and maybe learn from that. The other bit of good news, George Springer, who's been out the last couple of days because of an injury, he is back leading off the lineup tonight. So it feels like the band is back together again, and the fans are super excited to see how this unfolds.
Jays fans are going to be glad to hear some of that news for sure. Okay, CTV's John Venevalley-Rao at a very electric, as you said, concourse outside the Rogers Center. Thanks very much, John. All right, and let's check in now with the National Newsroom for a look at what's coming up at 11.
Tonight, Blue Jays fans looking for a World Series treat.
Oh my God, I have so much energy and I am like so pumped for the game. Got a lot of confidence too.
How the Jays are hoping the Dodgers don't scare up a win in Game 6 later on CTV National News.
We are going through the Haunted Corn Maze here on Bridgeport Road at the Pumpkin House, 311 Bridgeport Road in Waterloo. Tonight, it is peak trick-or-treating hours. A little bit chilly out there and windy. I'll let you know how things are looking for your morning and wake-up weather coming up after the break.
Here's what's on CTV for your Friday night at 7 o'clock. Stick around for E-Talk before The Big Bang Theory at 7:30. Then at 8, it's Celebrity Wheel of Fortune before Special Forces World's Toughest Test. And then at 10, Boston Blue.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 105.3 Virgin Radio.
Colton's back now with a look at what our team's following for later tonight. Colton.
Tony, you already made the wardrobe change. I got to wait till I get home to put on my jersey, but I'll state the obvious. The Blue Jays are playing in Game 6 tonight, entering the matchup with a 3-2 series lead. The Jays could close out the World Series tonight with a win over the defending champions, the LA Dodgers. We'll be following that game throughout the night with any updates at 11:30. Tony.
Colton, thanks so much. Appreciate that. And let's get our final check on the forecast with Alex.
Yep.
I don't know. Is Alex around? Can't find her. Alex, are you there?
I think we're going to make it out okay, Tony. We did. I've gone through it once, and we did it. Yes.
Very nice. And you survived to tell the tale.
I did. And there's even candy at the end, so I can't complain about that. But yes, we've been here at 311 Bridgeport Road in Waterloo over the last couple of hours checking out this incredible display. And just the planning alone going into this is quite amazing. They've been doing this for about 12 years here. And in terms of pumpkins, 200 styrofoam, I'm told, pumpkins. So, of course, they're not real because they just reuse them each and every year and keep adding to this really, really impressive collection. But, yes, we've got skeletons. We've got, what else we've got here? Oh, of course, yes, haunted. We've got some couple ghosts. We've got a little skeleton dog, if you will, too. And lots of goodies right in the maze as well. So, throughout the evening, we've been noticing a steady flow of trick-or-treaters here checking out this haunted maze, if you will. And yes, sometimes the little ones haven't been making it through all the end, which is okay. They still are getting some candy at the end. But in terms of your wake-up weather, yes, chilly. It is also quite breezy out here this hour. In terms of tomorrow morning by 6 a.m., we should be hitting around 3 degrees or so. Cloudy. We could see some clear breaks, though. But again, getting into the overnight tonight, chance for some wet weather, possibly a chance for some flurries as well. Then by 10 o'clock or so, we should be hitting about 4 mainly cloudy conditions. So I know we mentioned flurries. No one wants to hear about that quite yet, but just a slight chance, and they shouldn't stick around, right? I know, it's too soon, Tony. It's too soon.
Well, Alex, once we get you back in the shot here, I want to come back on with you and note that because it's Halloween, I decided I would wear something a little different too. You know, after 24 years of wearing nothing but a suit jacket on the news, I've decided to go with something blue tonight.
There you go. Something blue and appropriate for tonight because, yeah, I'm sure within, the next hour or so, maybe trick-or-treaters might be going back home because I think the parents might be glued to the TVs shortly.
I think so. I think all trick-or-treating is going to be wrapped up by 8 o'clock tonight, 8:05 at the latest. Alex, thank you so much from Bridgeport Road in Waterloo. Great work tonight at that Halloween house. Good to see you. Happy Halloween. And thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you to all of you who, the moment I put out the photo this afternoon of me in the jersey saying, should I got an overwhelming number of yes, do it, and then ask for forgiveness later. Well, don't worry, I did clear it beforehand. But coming up tonight at 11:30, we will be turning around whatever Jays highlights we have for you, including, whatever point we get to in the game. And check out our CTV News app as well for news anytime. So we'll see you back here at 11:30 for what's sure to be a busy, exciting night. Take care. See you then.